we're gonna move on to our favorite segment called the Card of the Week. Card of the Week. Card of the Week. Card of the Week. Woo! Woo! All right, here we go. So staying on theme.
Before, all right, let me
okay.
just add a little bit here.
Yes.
So Dan's on the other side of the room, and he's like, "Hey, we need a card of the week." I'm like, "All right, give me a minute." And I just pull up my phone and I start Googling something. And he's like, "What are you looking up?" I didn't say nothing, and I'm just going through cards that have something to do with a duck. I'm like, we got to stay on theme, right? And he's laughing. He's like, all right, Swan Song. And I was looking through stuff. I'm like, the only thing that had something to do with a duck was a test card from like 4 years ago that I could find.
MTG. There was a bird secret lair.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Gilded Goose has one with a swan on it.
Gilded Goose, Birds of Paradise.
Yeah.
Dovescape.
Dude, Dovescape's a sick card.
I've never heard of that card.
The Azorius card?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good card.
Oh, wow. So it's Swan Song. It's Swan Song on an enchantment. Card. Wow.
It's a good card.
Interesting. Huh. And you got Baleful Strix, which is the owl.
Yeah.
No real ducks, but Gilded Goose.
There's no ducks.
Yeah. I didn't think about Gilded Goose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're talking about Swan Song. So Swan Song,
because we're not ducking around.
We're not ducking. I love that, by the way. That was great. So Swan Song is a 1 mana instant for 1 blue. It says counter target enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell. Its controller creates a 2/2 blue bird creature token with flying. Say that 5 times fast. Holy cow! So it's a 1 mana counter. It's a I shouldn't say very, but it is a restrictive counter because it only targets enchantment, instants, or sorceries,
which are some of the best things you can do in Magic.
That's true, except countering a big dumb thing.
Yeah.
You just save your other counter spells for that.
Yeah.
This counter is for countering a counter.
This is 1 mana. I'm stopping your counter spell.
Yes. Yeah. Have you ever used this to stop an enchantment, or do you normally use this for instance instance?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Again, I think one of the things that comes with using a restrictive card like this is save it for its most narrow use case, right? Because I'm just trying to think, because a card that says counter target spell, you're going to use if you had Swan Song and just a counter spell in hand, okay? You're going to use, if there's an opportunity for you to use both Swan Song and counter spell, you're using Swan Song.
I think it also depends on resource management.
How so? I think I agree, but how so?
Oh, okay. I guess so whatever, if they play an enchantment, right, are you going to use Swan Song or counter spell? Well, this can only hit specific things, so yeah. If you have well, I guess if you have 3 mana, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. So if it was specifically an enchantment or instant or sorcery you're trying to get rid of, then yeah, use this. Unless you don't want to give them a 2/2 beater, because what if that's lethal? Right.
Well, they can't swing it that turn, okay?
Next turn. What if they counterspell on your turn and you give them a bird?
Right.
Flashing an enchantment and stuff like.
Right. It's just, I think the general rule, it's a good general rule of
use whatever specific cards first.
Correct. So, Swan Song is one of those cards that I didn't know was a card, because for a while since I started playing Magic, and then when I heard about it, I'm like, Well, that's an interesting card. It's a one mana counter spell essentially.
Yeah.
You know, because you need all those. You need as much cheap counter magic.
And it's honestly not too specific to be able to hit instant sorceries and enchantments. You know, that gives you a pretty wide spread on things.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that it's instant sorceries. Oh yeah, also enchantments. We're gonna throw enchantments in there too. You know, it's just interesting. Like for me, the type of player that I am, again, I play a lot of big dumb creatures, right? So for me, I'm like, oh well, it doesn't hit my creatures, so woohoo, you know, cool.
Yeah,
you know. So, but yeah, Swan Songs is an interesting card. I think 1 mana to give your opponent a 2/2 flyer. It's for the most part, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that is this week's card of the week, Swan Song. I'm just trying to remember our game where you played Niv Mizzet.
Oh yeah.
And I was playing Gargos.
Did I miss that deck?
That was one of the best moments I've ever had playing Commander. It was great. So upset that you made Niv Mizzet indestructible, or what was it?
I cloned your indestructible.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I can't remember what spell I was using, but I know you used expansion explosion.
Yeah.
I was so not
to
happy.
go off and destroy everyone. Yeah.
Because that didn't target Gargos to give it another fight trigger. I was not happy.
Oh yeah, because you were stopping my infinite mana for me to then just.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah. And then you interrupted it. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, I have a problem with it.
It was a great interaction. It was a great moment. So anyway, that is this week's card of the week, Swan Song. So yeah, we